Just waiting to see if there's any people to show up. I wanted to warn you guys ahead of time. It's going to be a long live. So if you don't have time to listen to me, give some feedback, advice, wisdom, knowledge, etc., then you might want to come back to this later when you do have time. But we're going to get deep, and I'm going to explore some things with you, and hopefully be able to give advice that maybe, who knows, may be helpful. And if not, I apologize. But at least you learned something, I hope. So, uh, yeah, I'm sure there's nobody here because I didn't announce live. So I just decided to get into it. It's been a while. I apologize, first off, that I haven't done a weekly positive message. I've been busy with work and stress, and I really haven't had anything positive to get into. So I rather I rather be realistic and transparent and have that feeling that I need to share a positive message than force myself to do it when I'm aggravated or because you people are smart and I don't want to assume that I could pull one over. So what they say, if you don't have nothing good to say, you know, stay home. You know. Uh, so yeah, I just been busy and I just been kind of out of whack, kind of, and I don't know what's going on with me per se as far as uh, my positivity, but it's still there. It's motivating my. I'm being selfish with it, I suppose, because it's there to help me. And when I have it in abundance, I feel I have to share. So I apologize for that, but that's just how it is, I guess. And I haven't had any. I mean, I had some good things to share, and I wanted to a few weeks back, but I got caught up doing other things, and I got really stressed out, and I didn't have the optimism to drive it home, as it were. But I'll catch you up on that at the end of this broadcast. So, hey everybody, if you're listening to this, welcome to the Blind Spot, my treehouse of positivity and spirituality and creativity. So, if this isn't your type of thing and it's your first time around here, um, hang in there and see what happens. You never know, right? First time you meet somebody, you give them benefit of the doubt. Unless they're totally full of bullshit, then yeah, never mind. But that's how I am, anyways. I give somebody the benefit of the doubt, and when they seem too far fetched or they seem too about themselves and their their stories or their whatever don't match with or just seem weird or just seems different or just seems strange or just seems out of my depth of it doesn't pass my I say I don't you don't pass my BS meter, then I'll leave you alone. But I'm not going to be a jerk, you know. I can still be friends with somebody I don't really understand, but I can't understand somebody I'm friends with, if that makes any sense. I can't get along with somebody I'm friends with if I don't understand them. But I allow myself to understand people I don't know. If that makes any sense to anyone. It sounded good in my head before it came out of my mouth, and I'm like, what the hell did you just say? So I hope this isn't a regress of what's forthcoming. Um, but I wanted to give some I don't know, enlightenment, I guess you would say, um, on where I'm coming from, where I'm going to be, and where I'm going with this uh, live. So hang in there. I'll get to it. Um, I don't really know how to check to see who's here and that kind of thing. So if you are here, thanks for showing up. And if you're listening later, like I said, hope you come back. I'm sure I'll have some pretty great things to say someday. Maybe something you could use. All right. So I titled this broadcast NDE, Zodiac, the Zodiac, uh, Tarot, and Numerology. Could it be wisdom or just another rabbit hole? In my opinion, I've had experiences with all of those, and my NDE, my NDE, I will start off with near-death experience, and then I'll get into the rest of it. So you'll have the foundation, and then I don't think I can make this a short video. So, but I will bounce back and forth, so it'll stay interesting. Okay. All right. So in 2013, March 10th. Well, technically it was March 9th, but right before midnight, I went to a bar in Pennsylvania called the Fort Pit, and uh, had a beer with a friend. I promised I'd show up, and I usually keep my promises, especially when I make a promise to a friend or a family member. I try to keep my promises. 9 times out of 10, I follow through. Sometimes things just happen, right? And everybody can understand that. Um, so I showed up and I had a beer, and we were talking, and some whack job was in the bar and told his friends to leave. And I guess he was in an argument with his girlfriend or something. I don't know the story. I don't pretend to know what happened because I wasn't paying attention to that side of the bar, and this individual wasn't being, loud and obnoxious, so I didn't pay attention to it. Uh, I guess the bartender overheard the conversation that this individual was having, and didn't really, didn't really. I guess it didn't raise a flag to her, a red flag to her. So you know, it was just okay. He was pissed, whatever, and he told his friends to take a hike, something like that. And he walked out and came back in with some guns and started shooting. And he shot my friend James in the back of the head and killed him instantly. And I I go back in my mind at that exact moment. And the first thing out of my head was, what the? And I turned my head to the left. And before I could say, well, this isn't childproof, whatever. So before I could say, fuck, um, he had shot me in the side of my face, right below my left temple. And I really don't remember what happened for for a little bit. I know I fell out of the bar stool onto the ground. Because I remember going, ow, that hurt. You just got shot in the face and you fall on the ground, pretty much head first, face first. I face plant on and the last, thing in my brain was, ow, that hurt. And it wasn't the bullet going through my face, it was just the face plant. So that's kind of funny, but I just remember laying there and I could hear what's going on, but I couldn't move. Like when, I don't know, I've never really been into a big fight or nothing like that where I got punched and knocked out, but I've been like, you know, in the middle of a dream, like, in between the awakened and dream state where I could hear people talking around me, but I was just about to go to, into the dream state. And so I didn't even, um, I could, unless they would have said something to me like, "Hey, Joe," I wouldn't have answered. I didn't have an opinion about what they were talking about. I was just in that place. That's where that's where I was when I got shot. The in between, the right before you go to sleep. And I just remember I I I thought, I guess this is it. And I've listened to probably over 100 YouTube videos on near-death experience, people's experiences, and I don't I don't I don't feel like I had the same experience as as some of them did. They got the white light and all that, and they got to go to see these all pretty things, and got to see angels and spirits and that kind of thing. And well, my experience was a little bit different. So um, I think I think because looking back now, I wasn't supposed to be at the bar that night, but because I was trying to keep a promise to a friend, I did show up, and I think that somehow maybe messed up the matrix, you know, of what was supposed to happen. And I'm glad I did show up because there were two ladies sitting, to the right of me. There was a bar stool between me and this older lady and her friend. They were talking, and if I wasn't there, maybe one of them would have got hurt. And so I'm glad I was there, so they didn't have to, you know, go through anything. And if they were able to survive, just I'm not claiming I'm a hero or nothing like that, but I'm glad I was there because I don't want anybody to go through what I had to go through. Um, Anyways, so um, for my friend, Jamie, his mom and dad. Um, I want to say to you, if you listen to this, um, I'm not a coward. Okay. Um, what I'm about to reveal, I've never told anyone. So when I had a chance to tell you about this, I didn't do it because something in me said that you weren't ready to hear it. Because I can only imagine the pain of losing a child has got to be the most painful thing in the world. And if I was to tell you what I'm about to say, I somehow thought it would be making the hole in your heart bigger. Like, if you get a scratch on your hand and you put a band-aid on it, and then every day you take the band-aid off and scrape it back open and then put another band-aid on. It never heals. So I'm not saying that losing a child you ever get over. I lost my dad in 2014, a year after I got shot. Well, not even a year. It was like 9 months after I got shot, and it still hurts. And I can only imagine. I don't even I couldn't fathom what it's like to lose a child, especially your only child. So, but Jamie was loved by me. I think him and I would have been best friends if we was had a little bit more time. But he was a cool dude, and I think I could have taught him things, and he could have taught me things, about life or education or you know independence or whatever, having having fun, you know, making friends, that kind of thing. So we had a lot in common, and that's why we got along, I think. And I wouldn't have shown up to the bar how tired I was working two jobs for anyone, really. But I figured, I keep my promises. So I wanted to be James' friend, and I didn't want to just, I I I had conversation with Jamie before that, and he had a lot of friends who let him down and weren't there for him when he needed friends. So I didn't want to be one of those. And anyways, so back to the story. When I got shot and fell on the ground, blah blah blah, I could hear somebody calling my name, and I didn't know who it was because nobody in that bar knew who I was except for the bartender and James, by name. I didn't, it's not like there was a bunch of people. There was what, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, and that's including the bartender. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 including the bartender that night. So, and that's not normal for that bar. Usually, at least at the minimum, on a weekend, uh, you know, 20, 30 people, easy, especially on a Saturday or a Friday night. There's no there's no walking room, so um, can't even find a chair. But so I remember hearing somebody calling my name, and I stood up and I I blinked my eyes and I tried to feel my face, you know, where I got shot, and there was nothing. to feel. Like I couldn't even touch I couldn't touch my face. I could see my arms and my legs and that and then my vision focused, and it was Jamie. And he said, Joe, you see me? Do you see me? I said, yeah. What? He said, uh, look. And I looked and I saw his, body leaning on the bar. And I looked down and I saw my body laying on the ground. And he said, look what that asshole did to us. I said, are we dead? And James said, I don't know. He said, well, from the looks of it, I am, but I don't know about you. It looks like you're still breathing. And I said, oh, okay. I said, what do we do? He said, well, I'm supposed to go. I said, where are you going? He said, I got to go out the door. Don't you see the light? And I looked where he was pointing and I didn't see any light. I didn't see any people, but I didn't see, I didn't, I could barely see him. So I didn't know what was wrong with my eyes, you know. And that's when he looked at me. He came up close. He said, Joe, I got to go. He said, I think you have to stay here. And I said, okay. He said, if you have to stay here, can you do me a favor? And I said, yeah, buddy, whatever. What do you need? He said, if you get to go back, he said, can you tell my mom and dad I love them, miss them, and I'll be waiting for them? I said, yeah. Well, what if I don't get to go back? He's like, well, don't worry about it. They'll know. But I want you to meet them because they're good people. And he opened the door and there was a light. And then he closed the door behind him. And so I sat there, well, stood there, looking down at my body and looking at James. What the hell do I do? So yeah, I had an out of body experience, which is what most, or I guess all NDE people experience. And I waited, and I could hear the sirens, but I couldn't see anybody in the bar. I couldn't see people running around, or it was empty. It looked that way, but like I said, I didn't have very good uh, vision. I couldn't see. Everything was blurry, like fuzzy, and it was dark in that bar anyway. Unless it was a football game on or something. But okay, so I said, well, if Jamie gets to go, maybe I'm supposed to go too. And I kind of knelt down, whatever kneeling down is, in uh, that uh, whatever that is, that dimension. I was trying to see if I could hear myself breathe because I couldn't see my chest going up and down, and I could see blood on the ground, and I tried to kneel down or get close enough to see if I could hear myself breathing. I'm like, am I supposed to go back? What's going on here? And there was no angel or no spirit guide or none of that to say, hey, let's go, let's go this way, or you know, there was I didn't know what to do, and so I said, screw it, I'm out of here, and I tried to follow where James went, and when I opened the door, there was light, and I said, I guess it's my time, okay, and I walked through the door to the light, and it wasn't like a big old tunnel like they say, it was quick. If it was a tunnel, it was fast. It wasn't a long drawn out, like you're following in a tunnel kind of thing. It was like walking through a portal. That was what it was like for me. But like I said before, I don't think I was supposed to be there. I think I broke the matrix. So when I walked through the light, and on the other side of the light, it was a room, and it was bright. There was a door to the left, and a door maybe on the far wall, probably it seemed like maybe 20 feet from me, and there were no numbers on the doors, but there was writing on them, and I didn't pay attention to the writing because I didn't care. Like, what the hell is this? And on the right side of the wall, down excuse me, down by the um, end of the wall, the far wall. So let's say there's a north wall, an east wall, a west wall, and wherever the hell I'm coming from. So the west wall had a door right next to me. The north wall had a door to the left on the north wall, and then on the right, on the east wall, there was about 10 or 15 feet of wall, and then a gap. And in that gap, there was this cloud kind of thing, and it seemed more more like a flare, like a sun flare, but it was cloudy and it was rainbow color. It had, all kinds of colors. It was purple, pinks, orange, yellows, greens, and it would flare in and flare and another flare, but in a cloudy way, not in a sharp, sun kind of thing. It was a fluffy flare kind of. It was beautiful. And I'm like, what the hell is that? That's awesome. I never seen anything like it before. I'm like, wow, all the colors and it was like singing, you know, some kind of a music I never heard before. And I was like, all right, well, that's cool. And so I'm just sitting there or standing there, like just staring, like, wow. I mean, what else is it gonna, I mean, is it gonna do something else, And then all of a sudden I heard like a thunder, boom, and I turned my head to the right, and the wall disappeared. Well, maybe like a glass kind of, turned into glass. Maybe it was always glass. I don't know. I didn't really look, but I could see this big, big circle, and it was the cloud. It was the rainbow thing, and in the middle of it was like a crystal green, black, yellow, kind of like a cockpit thing. It was weird. I don't know and that's where the thunder came from. And so it scared me, but in a way, it was trying to tell me, hurry up and make a choice. Like, hurry up. It's like when you're cleaning your room or you're doing something, and your parent, right before they yell at you, they go, ah, they get frustrated. Or, same thing when you're a kid and your parents take too long, you're, come on, you know, that's kind of what happened. And I thought, okay, I knew what to do. Make a choice. Hurry up. So I looked back at the doors and I took the first one to the left. Okay. And then I walked in and I saw my grandfather who had passed away, you know, um, in '05. And, he was young and healthy looking and, fit, and he might have been my age. I don't know. But he didn't have gray hair, and he didn't have a beer belly, and he was walking. And we played a game of pool and, well, maybe half a game of pool. But I asked him, why am I here? And he told me, Joey, I don't know why you're here. He said, what happened? And I said, well, I got shot. And my friend died and he left, and so I followed him. And he said, well, I don't think you're supposed to be here because this isn't this isn't like what happened when I died. This is way different. I said, well, what do you mean? He said, well, hold on. And then he turned his head to the right and he nodded. He said, well, hey, you got to go back now. I said, go back, go back where? I said, I'm dead. He said, nope, you won't be in a few minutes. And next thing I know, I'm like picked up by the back of my shirt, or whatever, and pulled away towards the door I came in. And right before uh, I, was sent back, I guess, however you want to call it, right before I transcended, my grandpa asked me, Joey, can you do me a favor? And I said, yeah, Grandpa, anything. How come people always want to ask you for favors when you got when you die and you got to come back? But I said, yeah, Grandpa, anything. He said, tell the family I said I love and miss them. And I was thinking in my head, they're not going to believe me, you know. But I didn't even know what this was real. I thought maybe it was a dream. I dreamt that I went to the bar that night and got shot. I didn't know it was real. And the next thing I know, after I told Grandpa, yeah, okay, I promise. Um, I was kind of flung, and when I looked down, I saw 2 feet wearing sandals and a white robe. And I was like, hey, that looks familiar. And I was thinking, is that Jesus? And I don't know. I didn't get to see the face because the next thing I know, I was slammed back into my body, and I could hear the ambulance and I could hear the paramedics uh, saying, he's back, he's back, he's back, we got him. And uh, I tried to move, and he told me, just stay still, stay still. Yeah, and my throat hurt because they stuck they gave me a tracheotomy. And I tried to touch my throat, and they kept pulling my hands away from my face and don't touch, don't touch. And they must have gave me some medicine because I blacked out again, and that's the last thing I remember until the 13th. And 3 days later, I woke up in the hospital, uh, and I saw my mom, and I said, Mama. And said, you're awake, you're awake. And I said, yeah. And I said, what are you doing here? I said, you got shot. I had to come. I had to be here. And I said, well, thank you, Mama. I said, am I going to be okay? And she said, yeah, the doctor think you're going to make it. I'm like, okay. And I was slurring, said, shit, because I didn't have a jaw. Uh, I remember the slur, slur. I was like, you can't talk, he says. Sound like a freaking cartoon character. And my mom was reading a book, the Abraham Lincoln Vampire book, and I don't even remember half of it because I kept going in and out of consciousness. But I remember she told me it was her birthday. Oh, happy birthday, Mom. And so that's pretty much the whole story. So I didn't get to see any angels. I didn't get to see any light beings. I didn't get to see the crystals and the gardens and the clouds in the sky. I got to see the rainbow thing. That was pretty cool. I haven't heard anybody with an NDE story about a rainbow cloud. So I don't know if that was God. I don't know what it was, but it was beautiful. And when it thundered at me, I knew it wasn't mad at me, but I knew it. It wanted me to make a decision. Hurry up. So I don't know what would have happened if I would have chose the other door, and I don't know what was the writing on the door. Maybe I would have saw a different family member, or maybe I would have not come back. I don't know. It wasn't explained to me. I didn't have any guides, so they must have been off the clock that day or something. Jerks. But so to James's mom and dad, I apologize for not telling you guys this, but something in my heart told me it wasn't. You guys weren't ready for that. All right, so I don't want to start crying because I'm a sensitive now, where I really wasn't that sensitive. I mean, I've been a sensitive person since I was a kid, but not like this. Not like I heard, you know, a couple of people who've had NDE. Yeah, when you come back, you're different, and I am different, but not in a better way or a worse way, but just enhanced way. And I don't talk to dead people, and I don't know how to. And I'm a blind person, so I can't see dead people, but I'm more intuitive, and I get I get some kind of signal in my gut or in my thoughts, that I need to do this or I need to do that, or um, we all have that, right? You get a reminder in your head, hey, it's time to do this. But mine is more intense than it used to be, where um, I'm not a psychic, but I can just predict things. Just based on facts, right? Like, okay, well, if I stay up late today, if I stay up, for, 19, 20 hours straight, I'm probably going to sleep all day tomorrow. That's just common sense, right? That's not a prediction, but I know, um, I I get a feeling like, hey, I need to call so and so, or you know, I want to say empathic, empathic or whatever, but I don't, I don't know. I think I've always had a way to uh, sense how people feel. I wish that feeling would have helped me when I was married. But, there was too many distractions, I believe. But all right, so I'm going to move on from the NDE. So now you have the foundation, right? And there's a lot to that and before that, and uh, I may write a book about it or something one day, but um, this is where it starts, right? Just getting it out. Um, so I've always been a pretty creative person, music and art and writing and poetry and trying to solve problems, issues, trying to find a better way to make things easier and that kind of thing. So uh, when it comes to uh, like the Zodiac and the tarot and horoscopes and that, you know, they're tools, but they're to take them, realistically, you know, following a stranger who's never met you, advice in a general way to for the whole planet just because you were born on a certain month? I don't think so. I mean, it's a baseline. It's a roadmap, or hey, here's the street you live on. But there's a bunch of houses in the neighborhood, so one house might burn down, one house might get robbed. One house you know might be empty because somebody moved out of it. So, but you're still on the same street. Okay, well that's pretty helpful, right? So yeah, you know the street you're on, but you don't know what house you're in, what you live in or whatever. So you don't know what's going to happen to your house that month. But a horoscope will say, yeah, we know how to tell you what's going to happen to your house that you live in. No, you just tell us what's going to happen to the street that we live on in the neighborhood. Anyways, um, and the tarot card, they're sometimes there's some good ones because I think some tarot readers have the intuition that the message is for someone. If they channel spirits or whatever, that kind of thing, which I believe is, possible. But it takes a lot of, man, a lot of patience and a lot of, uh, I don't want to say awakening, but it's a like a fail and a proof and a fail and a proof to get it right. It's hard work, and if they're accurate, then you know. But they don't always claim that, hey, this is for everybody. This is maybe for a few people, and then they'll read a card, tell a message, and if it sounds like it's something that you're going through, then take it for what it is. They're not going to tell you how to, hey, this is what's happening, blah, blah, blah. They might give you their own opinion, their own advice, but not talking to spirits telling you, hey, so and so is listening to your message, tell them we said hi and to do this. That's not how it works. So it's vague, and that's what I tell you. If it resonates with you, then good. If not, then maybe next time. But who wants to listen to somebody else's, fortune or whatever or message? I'm not going to go talk to Dr. Phil and uh, and he's telling me a message that he got from Mr. Rogers about Kermit the Frog. I don't want to listen about that. Tell me about me, dude, or I'm out of here. So So I don't have the patience to sit and listen to somebody's message. That's not for me. It's like opening a fortune cookie that says, "Hey, uh, you know, your next door neighbor's with Bill Gates. He's going to ask you to mow his lawn tomorrow." I'm like, "No, I don't have a neighbor named Bill Gates, so I think you're wrong." Oh, this was for somebody else. I don't want a fortune cookie with somebody else's message in it. So my very first experience with this kind of thing, my dad took me and my brother to a Chinese restaurant when I was, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6. We used to do that every now and again, and they had these like paper place mats on the tables, and on the placemat it would tell you your Chinese uh, spirit animal for the year you were born. And I remember this. I thought was hilarious because mine was year of the monkey, and my brother was year of the rabbit. And I'm like, oh, cool. I'm a funny ass animal who does weird stuff. Throws poo, and my brother likes carrots. And so I laugh, and oops, sorry about that. So that was that, and I thought it was pretty cool, that the Chinese were so awesome about uh, putting an animal to somebody's birth year. And yeah, after that, I really never paid attention to it. And yeah, that's that. So since the NDE, I've been kind of wondering, why am I still here? Why did I get sent back here? What am I supposed to do? And I remember in the hospital, this when I came back the second time. Um, I'm not sure what happened, but I was the first time. Um, they said I was gone for like 17 minutes, and in the hospital, it was like only 5. So, uh, and the doctors told my mom that only reason why I came, only reason why I survived because I had a strong heart. Like, well, yeah, when you shoot a shit ton of electricity in it, and it doesn't start beating again, then I guess it's not very strong. Oh shit! But I don't remember any of that. So, um, I didn't have an out of body experience the second time. So I don't know. Or maybe I did, I just don't remember. Or maybe I thought it because of all the drugs they had me on, and I was probably hallucinating pretty bad. Maybe I just thought it was hallucination. There was no, you know, guide or no, I don't know. You I need somebody to say, "This is your brain on drugs, man." Shit. Um, but yeah, that was that. Got out of the hospital and long process to heal and get better, and had a reconstructive surgery that took 12 hours. 9 months later, 9 months? Yeah, something like that, 7 months later. And I didn't die, but my dad thought I was going crazy. And they gave me a psych test and all that, and I passed it. And, but later on, I forgot. Here I'm getting back into the NDE thing, but it'll tie in. Um, I didn't remember like before the age of like 19. From 19 to being born, it was like almost erased. There was like uh, I don't know, like sprinkles of things, but no real memory of a dog or a cat or a house or a school or friends. or Christmases. I didn't remember any of that stuff. But I could remember my dad or my mom or my brother or my sister, you know, but that's about it. Uh, and so I'm like, well, what happened to all those memories? Did they just disappear? And so because they said, well, you have traumatic brain injury, so either it'll come back or it won't. I'm like, well, that's great. That's positive. Yeah, it will or it won't. So I was, I'll go on to back to the tarot and the Zodiac. So being a Gemini, uh, now y'all know why uh, I am the way I am. Um, being two people at once is kind of frustrating. Yeah, my brain's always rapid because it's being pulled in two different directions. One wants to imagine and be creative, and the other one wants to have common sense and focus. Yeah, that's my two sides. And sometimes when one's asleep, the other one takes off. So it's a good thing. And let's see, the tarot. I've never had a personal tarot, but I've listened to a few messages like on YouTube or Rumble or um, and some of them kind of. There was one that really got me. It was about the spiritual and what I had been through these last 10 years. Uh, and I'm like, wow, how does she getting all this out of a card? You know, this is like spot on. How does she know? And it just blew my mind. And then I emailed this reader and um, asked her questions, and she helped me, and she gave me my signs and all that stuff. And the houses and all that. And I still have no idea what the freak it means, but it's it is what it is. I don't I don't have anybody to explain it to me. So she just gave me the stuff. She didn't tell me what anything meant. Um, I'm supposed to figure it out. She's like, have fun, you know. Thanks. And me using that um, because I'm a Gemini with the Capricorn moon, whatever that means. Um, I started looking around YouTube and Rumble and searching the internet for that kind of stuff. I found a couple websites that could explain that kind of thing, and I'm like, wow, that's pretty neat. I was curious, so and then I fell into numerology. I'm like, okay, here we go, something else, right? Another rabbit hole that I'm never going to figure out because I'm not going to have anybody to explain it to me. And uh, actually, numerology is more um, narrow and substantive than the tarot and the horoscopes and the zodiac, and but it all kind of intertwines in a way, not exactly, but in a way. If you know your zodiac and all that kind of hoopla, uh, it all kind of ties together. And I'll tell you why. Because God is real, okay? And whether you have guides and angels and that kind of, I don't know. You think I would have had seen them, when I had my NDE. But some people don't. Some people do. I guess I don't know. But I know God exists because I can feel it in my heart. Why I'm back, I guess, is to be a good person and to help people when they need it. And so that's what I do. I try to be a good person. I can't always be the best me, but I try to be a good me, and I will always help someone who's in need if I can. But if they don't pass my BS test, then I know they're a scam, and they're going to take advantage of me, and I don't allow that. But I get a feeling in my stomach that this person doesn't need your help. So say goodbye, say you're sorry, and walk away, right? But if somebody's looking for the bathroom and they're in my house, you damn right, I'm going to show you where the hell that's at. I don't want to clean up your mess. Anyways, but the numerology is pretty powerful. At least it was for me, and I'm still like blown away by how synchronicity with all of these things when they kind of come together. And I'm just like, why is all this stuff making sense? It kind of freaks me out a little bit, and I get that feeling, like because God says so. Tell me, you know, this is a signal to let you know that this is what you're trying to learn, so you can explain what happened and why. And so since I've started this adventure about say about a year ago, looking into it deep, getting my hands dirty, as it were. There's just too many synchronicities with all this crap for it not to mean something. And yeah, somebody could tell you, hey, the sky is green, and you go outside and that day it's like, oh, it kind of has a shade. It's not normal. But nah, probably that pollution they're always talking about, right? But if you think about something enough and you pay attention to it more because you're looking for it, right? So maybe that's part of it. These zodiacs and astrology and mathematics and numerology. Sorry about that. Is a way to make you start focusing on things that are right in front of you that you don't pay attention to. It's like God's way of saying, "Hey, dude, pay attention. I'm trying to tell you something." You ask the questions I can't answer out loud because it scare the crap out of you, you know. Uh, but I give you the feelings, in your gut and in your heart, and then I make I whisper in your ear, curiosity. Hey, look at that, you know. But I can't just come out and go, hey, because you're like, what the fuck? And maybe you have to start wearing diapers, right? So because you be wetting yourself every time God says something to you. Um, yeah. uh, so focusing on things that are in front of you is a way for God to interact with you, if that makes any sense to you. So either this is a way for God to give you some kind of wisdom. If you're curious, if you don't care, then I don't know why you're watching this video. But if you're curious, just, hey, I'm curious, and check it out. Watch a video on YouTube, and if it's not something you're, really curious about, then go back to uh, watching Baywatch on YouTube or listening to music or whatever you guys do. Uh, but hopefully it's looking for something that inspires you to be a better person, a better you. Because we need more of that in our planet. Learning how to be better us. for the same old, just ain't getting it. So, all right, hey, uh, for you that I know, love and miss you, and for those of you I don't know, I just love you. So hang in there, because the the world is becoming different. Because right now we're having a growing pain, but once we get out of this, it's going to be beautiful. I can't wait, and I'm just glad I'm here to experience it. And I hope we're all here to experience it together, like a family, the way it was meant to be. All right. I don't know if I'll be back here on Sunday for a positive message, but if the mood strikes, not like I get a bunch of views anyway. All right. Namaste and be well. Bye bye.